Join me in I Am Home. I am home, I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road. Now I'm home. Shalom. Shalom. In the love of God, I am home.
Oh, good morning and welcome to Unity. Open hearts and open minds that welcome one and all. We're so thrilled you're here this morning, and your Unity Village Pilgrims returned last night. And so we're home from the village safe and sound, and it was absolutely wonderful. You're going to hear more about it today during the service. And so we are home. And what's wonderful is you were all with us there. So you all were all home at Unity Village, and we are so linked. So whether you're on Zoom in your physical home, home in the sanctuary, home at Unity Village, or wherever you are on the journey of your soul, you are one with this circle of kindred souls. And we always hold you near and dear in heart and prayer. Let us open this service with singing Come Light, Light of God, that reminder of the eternal flame that shines at the top of the silent Unity Tower and that shines in each and every one's hearts. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. And so we carried you to Unity Village with us, and around on different chairs, either one you're sitting on or nearby, there are 7 little tokens brought back from Unity Village with love, and they're scattered around the congregation. There's a Unity bag, a 2024 calendar, a daily word, 2 prayer guides, note cards, and Explore Unity Village booklet. And they're spread around, and they've got a little note that it's a gift from Unity Village with love. So everyone make sure that each one of those finds its right and perfect home. And those that journeyed together were David and Teresa, Jim and Mary, Cherry, Shakti, and Sky, Sharon, Beverly, Kaya, and myself. So we had 11 pilgrims. Jim, I mentioned Jim. He was number 3. Yes, I wrote it down to make sure I didn't forget anybody. And I love 11 because 11 is actually a master number. And 1 is the number of unity with God and with one another. So 1 is the number of the divine presence. So we had just the right perfect number, and we had the right and perfect number to fit in the van. So it worked at a practical as well as a mystical level. So I invite you now to stand, and let us first say who and what we are as a spiritual community, and then let's sing our opening song. We are an authentic, transformative, spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And now a song.
I thought, since we're going to be hearing about the World Day of Prayer, that it would be appropriate to sing one of the prayers known around the world and that is the Lord's Prayer. We'll open with this. This is an echo version, and you pretty much know the words, so just echo. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done, thy will be done. On earth as it is, on earth as it is in heaven, in heaven. You give us all that we need, all that we need. And forgive us our mistakes, as we forgive those who harm us. And let us not stray from you. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever and ever. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name.
That was wonderful. I've never heard that version before. Thank you. Wasn't that neat?
So having not prepared, other than showing up, so this World Day of Prayer, the theme was it, fueled by faith, I can move mountains. And that comes from both Matthew and Mark. And Mark, it says this, truly I tell you, if you say to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and if you do not doubt in your heart, and you believe that what you say will come to pass, it will be done for you. So as we teed up this World Day of Prayer, we had guest ministers talk, and maybe you saw it on Zoom, people that signed up for it. And there was a discussion about, of all the miracles that Jesus did, he never moved a mountain. Why was that? So this one minister, she said, the biggest obstacle for finding the kingdom of heaven on earth is the mountain in our consciousness. And until we believe and have the faith that we can overcome any obstacle, any prejudice, any circumstance, however small and however large, until we do that, we raise our consciousness that high, that's the mountain. That's our mountain. And so as we went through this week, thinking about what are all the obstacles that are in the way for humanity to move the big mountain. And I think first of it is to see that we have a mountain to move. I think there's people that don't see that this system doesn't work, or this world doesn't work, or can't see beyond the fact that there's lack in one place and prosperity in another, or can't see beyond the condition that they're facing because it's too big for them, let alone worry about all the rest of the world. So we've got a really big challenge, but it starts with our thinking. It starts with our faith. that we can move a mountain. And that goes right into the daily word, which just is amazing. All things work together for good in my life. I am blessed. Doesn't matter if your mountain is big or small. It doesn't matter if you're facing a challenge that's completely out of your control. All things work together for good in my life, and I am blessed. If someone asks me how I'm feeling, I may smile and simply say, I'm blessed. I may have bills to pay, may have more aches and pains, but I am aware that I am an expression of the divine. I know wherever I am, whatever I am doing, God can never be further away to my next thought. While I may not believe challenging events are blessings, I will likely feel blessed when I respond from the awareness of God, God's guidance, loving presence within me. Rather than reacting anxiously, I proceed calmly and with confidence, trusting in divine order, knowing that I am blessed. I radiate faith that I pray helps others recognize the blessings in their own lives. The Lord blesses and keeps you. The Lord makes his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lifts up his countenance upon you and gives you peace. From Numbers. All things work together for good in my life. And we are totally blessed by that. So it is. Amen.
Going to enter a time of prayer and meditation. And I'm so touched. One of the things that you can do when you go to Unity Village, or you can now do online because they've got everything scanned in, is find the daily word from the day you were born. And that passage from Numbers is on my birthday daily word. So a gift from Unity Village upon my return. Let me read it again. That one is so wonderful. The Lord bless and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love synchronicity, don't you? They say synchronicity is God winking. So let us let God wink at each and every one of us as we settle into a time of prayer and meditation, linking inner and outer sanctuaries, places of peace and rest and restoration and rededication. Sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you.
Settle into this holy moment and allow yourself to slow and deepen your breathing. Breathe in and then out 3 times. Oh, doesn't that feel wonderful? Breathing in the presence of the divine, moving it through us at every level, body, mind, heart, and soul, and then breathing our essence back as a gift into the world on our exhale. Our unconscious breathing is our deep soul commitment to be present in this world as a unique spark of God, finding our way, seeking the divine everywhere we journey, and being blessed to companion with others who walk this journey of life with us, be they be near or far, known or unknown, embodied or in spirit. Take a moment now and just allow yourself to be encircled, infilled, and uplifted on the very breath of the divine, of peace and grace. In this place of peace and presence, as a gift for your soul and the journey of your soul this day, Psalm 26. Speak on my behalf, O beloved, for I would choose the path to lead back home, trusting in your love without reserve. May my heart be as your heart. May my mind be as your mind. May your steadfast love guide me as I live according to your will. You, O Counselor, are my strength and my guide. So I choose the path of peace and wholeness. I walk with friends of integrity and associate with those who live in truth. I love the company of faith-filled people and count myself among those who make your word their own. Cleanse my heart in innocence that I might childlike be, singing songs of thanksgiving and proclaiming the beloved's way. Oh, loving presence, I cherish your dwelling place, my heart. Oh, that I might radiate love divine. Keep me always in your presence, ever ready to praise your name. Make me wholly complete in you. Write my name among the saints. For I choose the path of peace and wholeness. The Counselor is my strength and my guide, standing with equanimity in heaven's blessed company. I shall know love and peace beyond the world's understanding. Blessed are you, O my beloved. Blessed are you, O my beloved. Blessed are you, O my beloved. And so from this space of dedication and devotion, I invite you to pour forth all of the prayers that are yours this day. For yourself and others, this circle, our nation, our world, and the realms beyond. This morning, just silently, in deep communion with Spirit and with those who surround you, visible and invisible, lift up your prayers now, knowing that we lift them up with you, and we already celebrate their unfoldings as we open to see and hear answered prayers manifesting all around us like the radiance of light. Let us pray. We add to these prayers all of those entrusted to our High Watch prayer chaplains, spoken, written, and sent soul to soul. And we add to these prayers all of those personally carried to silent unity that even in this moment are held in the drawers, in the walls of the silent unity High Watch prayer chapel with a light that never goes out. We pray with all who pray for peace this day. May peace descend on earth. May peace descend on earth. May peace descend on earth. And now prepare to link inner and outer sanctuaries once again as you return to your outer life. As a blessing from Jan Richardson to bless your way as you go forth from this time of meditation into the lived meditation and practiced prayer that is your life. With every step you take, this blessing rises up to meet you. It has been waiting long ages for you. Look close and you can see the layers of it. How it has been fashioned by those who walked this road before you. How it has been created of nothing but their determination and their dreaming. How it has taken its form from an ancient hope that drew them forward and made a way for them when no way could be seen. Look closer, and you will see this blessing is not finished. That you are a part of the path it is preparing. That you know and are how this blessing means to be a voice within the wilderness and a welcome for the way. So go forth blessed and blessing as we sing Sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary,
bless you one and all. You are loved beyond words. And now a gift of special music.
This is Hymn by Vangelis.
I love Vangelis. I actually had a Vangelis record album, if it tells you how far back that goes. Oh, just beautiful. Well, we this morning, instead of having a traditional Sunday message, are going to have the Pilgrims share some of their experiences at the village. We carried you all with us to the village, and so this morning we want to carry the village back to you all through some of our experiences. And so this was not just a trip like a sightseeing trip. This was truly a pilgrimage. Unlike mere travel, a pilgrimage is a journey into the landscape of the soul. That's what our journey to Silent Unity and to the Unity World Day of Prayer. It was a spiritual journey. It was one into the landscape of soul, of the Unity movement, of our spiritual family, as well as our own individual journeys into the landscape of soul. So I hope you enjoy the wonderful experiences that everyone will share with you this morning. David, shall I turn it over to you? Would you like the list?
Oh, yeah, just in case I forget somebody like myself.
Yes, and Shakti and Sky went with us, and they are at home this morning, hopefully on Zoom. So we love you and we bless you.
So maybe I'll start it that way I can get my part over with.
See, it
I
works
may
out
end up,
for good.
I may wrap it up too. So Jim and I and Teresa were sharing the ride. Teresa said, well, what was the one thing, the one takeaway from this whole thing? And I wrote a list of my one things. I figured that, what the heck? One of my visions, or my intention, was that everybody that got to go to the village, that came to the village, would experience what I experience when I go there every year. A lot of you know I go there and work. But there's something about that ground that's different than other places. So that was my intention. So we'll see what these people come up with. One of the other things that was a real focus of my attention was to make sure we had an opportunity to go up into the prayer vigil chapel. That is not open to the general public by any means. And so, fortunately, I've been here long enough that I've got a couple chits I can pull. So Denise Griffin, who's in charge of all of the events, was able to schedule us into the chapel. And sitting there with all of these prayer requests, so they have 10,000 prayers come through every month. And they put those 10,000 prayers into the walls in these bins, whether it's a phone call, an email, or spoken on the phone, or something we sent from all over the churches all over. So those 10,000, they're in boxes. Those boxes stay there for 30 days, and then they move out, and the next 10,000 come in. So by just simple calculation, we'd say we got 120,000 prayer requests sitting in the walls as we're sitting there meditating and holding those up. So that was my other one. Walking on sacred ground. There are places on the campus that are pretty monumental. There was Myrtle's Grove, which is a series of trees and a little cupola. That's where Myrtle did a lot of her praying and what she was doing, her writings. So she would go there every day and just sit in amongst the trees and work on whatever she was working on. So that has a significance to it. Certainly all of the things on the grounds, let's see, the Bridge of Faith, where you stand in the middle and you can look in four directions and see either reflective pools or this other beautiful infrastructure in this amazing place. And then the Labyrinth, which has just opened up the last couple of years, has created a really beautiful foundation for the whole concept of every step we take is a prayer. And using the Labyrinth to walk you through whatever's going on and to answer any question you have as you walk your way out. Let's see. And then the last thing for me was that I too, most of us, or some of us, were able to get a copy of the daily word of our birth date, the date of our birth. And I've had it for years. I've read it probably 2 or 3 times. But this time was different. So one of the things that we did is we walked the Labyrinth one evening with candles. And they gave us a little intention, actually a sticky note. And my sticky note was prosperous. And my daily word for June 21st, back when, talked about prosperity, but prosperity in terms of having a prosperous life, not from a financial standpoint or anything else, but full and involved in part of things. And service has been one of my avenues of what I do. And I look at my whole 75 years in retrospect, And those two things just lined right up. So I go like, the synchronicities of the village is pretty amazing. So that was my one thing that came around. Let's see. Should we go right down this list? So me. So I guess I'll invite Teresa up next. We'll just go by the list here. Divine order. No, there's no button.
Well, I have a cheat sheet just simply because I don't want to forget all the wonderful things that happened that I thought about, especially starting the beginning of the whole trip. Partly getting ready to go, knowing that we're all going together. How's it going to work? Do we have the phone numbers? What's going to happen, right? That's always nerve-wracking for me. But this trip was very interesting and very different in the sense that it flowed very well, even with all the hiccups that can happen in a trip. They just seem to all work out and be fine. My takeaway, my biggest takeaway there is when you're on the village grounds, everywhere you go, from breakfast to the Peace Chapel, to the 12-power circle, 12 powers, to the Fillmore Chapel, to the archives, where you can get your birth date in a Unity daily word. Mine was open to happiness. To the fountains and the Bridge of Faith, to the bookstore, to the cafe for lunch, to the church sanctuary for more insights in a World Day of Prayer and Moving Mountains, to the Myrtle Fillmore Grove, to the Rainbow Bridge, to walking the labyrinth, to dinner, and to the end, the day fully held by the energy of the village. Everywhere, absolutely everywhere you go, it's magical, absolutely magical. The crowning jewel for me was to spend the time of prayer at the Silent Unity Chapel. Sitting in a room with lots of prayers is incredible energy. And I'm very, very, very proud to have brought all of your prayers with us. It was really an incredible honor. And the next best of all was walking around the sacred grounds with these incredible fellow pilgrims. It truly was a pilgrim. Our hearts opened. We loved each other, and we just did what we did, and it was beyond words. If ever you get a chance to go to the Unity Village, jump at it. I'm so glad we did. I felt like I was walking moment by moment in prayer. I'm filled with spirit and happy to be one of your prayer chaplains. What I know from this experience is everywhere I am is sacred ground and spirit abounds, waiting to help us. We just need to ask in prayer.
Thank you, Teresa. Next on the list is Jim. Yeah. You got to come up and speak. The people at home can't hear you.
Yeah, you couldn't do that last night all the way home because my ears were plugged.
Great. Talk to that.
Okay, it's going to be... Yeah, I know. You can't hear me without it. Okay. Okay. Anyway, it's like you were saying that Unity Village was a definite experience, and for anybody out here that hasn't been there, I firmly believe you ought to take the trip. It's life-changing. It was for me. And so basically I went over there to experience that labyrinth and the rose garden. And I was able to get up before the coffee was even made every morning. And the first morning there, I went out and walked around the whole outside of the buildings. And that's bigger than probably 2 football fields. And I got lost. And I did find the labyrinth, and that's the first thing I wanted to do, and I did walk it. And I went in right, but I didn't come out right. But David said that there's no wrong way to do it. And so I spent most of my time walking and going around that place, and in all of the space, these things up here, I got to that, I walked that one, stopped at every one of them, and I bought the cards from the store, so I have those in hand. And I have a whole lot of other memories. I was the misfit on this trip. Dave and Teresa guided me from the start of this thing down to their condo on West Seattle, right on my favorite grounds is the water, with the ferry boats running across. And so I'm not sure, we weren't in church that day, but the last 5 days, that's where I've been, is in church at Unity. And I haven't taken this coat off since I left. It was in the high 80s most of the time over there. For me, it was a bit hard to breathe, obviously. And I experienced a lot of difficulties in the situation, but I had fun on the sacred grounds. I walked the labyrinth 4 times, and Friday night we got done eating dinner, and then we came to the hotel there, and Teresa wanted us to all stand in a circle and say a few things, and so that was wonderful. And I did get my verse daily word, and that was a life-changing thing for me, because that took me back to when I was born. And it was on a Friday. And Friday was Friday the 13th when we were having this meeting. And of course, after the meeting, me and Dave went to the labyrinth, and that was life-changing. Anyway, the rest of the trip through there was still life-changing. So I had a wonderful time. So, like I say, anybody that hasn't been there, go there, because it won't be the same when you come back. I'm not sure how good I'm going to be the rest of this week.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Okay, Mary, you're the next one on my card here. So Mary was really one of the instigators in this whole thing. She's part of the paratraveling group, and she kept saying, well, we need to go back to the village. We need to go back and experience what you experienced, right? We got to do that. And then she said, last time she talked to me, she says, we're all getting older. We should really do this, right? Okay, Mary, I got it. And then they opened up the campus for the World Day of Prayer. This is the first time they've done it since the pandemic. So, and they didn't want to just open it to all of the Unity folks because they didn't know what to expect or how it was going to work out. So they invited three churches, and we're one of the churches that got invited. So it was Mary that set all that up. So come on, Mary.
Okay, David, hover behind me if I go too long, because I've been journaling for hours and hours and crying. I have cried for a week. So I'm going to try to get to this right away because it could go on because my heart is so full. And you may have to mop me up as it comes. I felt all that they have talked about, and I have stories about every one of these magnificent people. But thank you. I'm real animated. I'm also a deep feeler and a very deep thinker. So spiritual things, I turn to a blubbering mess. Mine wasn't so much the physical things I wanted to talk about, but there was a major transformation that happened to me the first night of the prayer vigil. It was dark by the time we had the opening ceremony, and we walked into a dimly lit, beautiful little chapel. It was the Fillmore Chapel, and the backdrop, it was as though God poured pure gold all over the drapery behind. It was so illuminated, so shimmering, so beautiful, and before that, in this dimly lit space, were trees and plants. And then, of course, there were the prayer boxes all around too, because we were there to pray for all the prayers that have come in. This is a celebration for all the prayers that come in from around the world. But what got me, this is what, there was a globe. Are you hovering already?
Yeah, hovering. Just go.
Okay. Give me a, all right.
We're here.
Okay. There was a globe of the world, which of course is World Day of Prayer, and that was their intention, and I guess we were to do with that whatever Spirit was meant to do through us. And I was mesmerized looking at this. It was this beautifully etched, the continents were etched on it, so it was sort of tone on tone. It was perfect. And the continent facing us was Africa. And I thought the animals, the beauty, the rich cultures, the ancient, everything about that wonderful country. And then the other stuff in that country hit me. And my mind's eye traveled around the rest of the globe, which we couldn't see. But then there was this alphabet soup of countries with letters. And it was all over the place, these situations. I can't even say the negative words now. I don't want to. I think somehow they've been magically lifted. I don't think you could pay me to say a negative word about the descriptions of what we hear that goes on with humanity. And I've heard this stuff so long on media all my life. It's almost, you become desensitized to it, and it's a backstory. And it's such a feeling of helplessness. What can I do? Well, I don't know, something happened, and it's been coming, like little shooting stars keep coming at me. I'm going to drop the negativity. I'm going to lose the news. And I'm going to be like Myrtle Fillmore, if I dare try to compare anything. When she was, thank you. When she had been told since childhood she was an invalid. She had recurring tuberculosis incidences, and maybe by midlife she was sick of it, and the medicine wasn't working. So she went to a New Thought healer and came out with a prescription that wasn't written, but it was words like this. All right, I'm going to tell you the exact words. Positive prayer was what she was told to do. I'm a child of God, and therefore do not inherit sickness. And she said that for 2 years and became completely healed. And of course, she took care of herself and thanked every organ and action and function in her body. Because that's what affirmative prayer is. It's recognizing that God dwells within, and we have everything we need already. So I thought, if she can do it, if she can do it with an illness, one person, and come to create a worldwide enterprise, I can hold my little flag out there. I can put my candle, and I can start saying affirmative prayers and cut out the negative descriptions and thoughts and, oh my God, and get into action. And this is what happened. And it's not seismic on any outer appearance, but it's seismic right here, and I feel like it's going to change so much. One more thing, shocked. Well, when I get thinking it's too little, too not significant enough, I remember Pam talking about Mother Teresa saying it's not about big things, it's about small things with big love. Yeah. So anyway, I could go on and on, but they've held me up, and they're probably tired. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so moving mountains, that's what it's about, moving mountains. The butterfly effect, that's what we were doing, holding up the whole world and making it, grokking that it's a world that works for all. And holding it, that is going to be the manifestation as we put it in there. Okay, let's see, Sherry. Cherry, let me get this right. So, cherry, like the fruit. Yeah, like the nut in the fruit, right?
Over here. I like my podium here, my altar. Good morning, everyone. This was such a meaningful trip for me, and I'm glad to have an opportunity to share a couple of things, because what I learned from the trip is very pertinent to us right here in Port Townsend Unity. First of all, my spiritual cup runneth over. This trip changed my spiritual life from black and white, from one-dimensional to 3D Technicolor, and I kid you not. And as you have heard, it really did change our lives. But first, before I get into my heart and speak, I want all of you to know, David and Rev Pam did such an outstanding job, but I did not fully understand their deep connection to Lee's summit the place where unity ideas started. And I have to thank you, David, for all your service to that place where we would call unity home. I'm not kidding. Everywhere we went, hi, David, are you back to work? How are you doing? When are you going to come back? He is just loved so much there, and he gives so much. There was so much gratitude towards his work. And towards Reverend Pam, I did not fully understand her time, her 2 years there. And as she has spoke about it, but it didn't put the context behind the words until my visit. So I would just like to say that all this love and energy was very apparent on behalf of our universal unity family. And with great joy and love, you shared every minute with us, David and Pam, touring, I'm not kidding, David could go national, I think, with these arrangements. Setting up tours right and left, making negotiations around tables, sending little notes to people, making special arrangements. And did I mention chauffeuring the 10 of us when the loaned car only seated 3 in every trip? So he made it work, and he took care of us in the most loving way. We received so many blessings because of you two. And I just really want to say that. We're blessed every day by these two, but they really worked hard to make this so meaningful. You did move mountains for us. I just will say that. Now I want to get to more serious. On Sundays in Port Townsend, we know that our prayers that we surrender to the prayer chaplains and or place in the spiritual box in the back receives many prayers and acknowledgments for us as it travels to Unity Center, the headquarters. I absolutely could not fully envision this spiritual path and the importance of my prayers that are received by so many other deeply committed angels, taking our prayers, moving them to truly a deeper prayer over them, or listening to our prayer requests over the phone. I know that one time I did call back east, and I remember that the person who took my call was very, very special. But until I saw that room where she probably sat, the full circle came around. We were so lucky to have a special tour of the prayer center and the staff that make it all happen. The staff were blessed by a depth and understanding of our complicated and sometimes crazy lives we lead. And they have a prayer in return that reflects their serious calling of handling our special needs. Sitting in the silent unity prayer room where staff prays was almost more than I could absorb. At one point, I think I almost fell off my chair. It just was so overwhelming, so beautiful, and so meaningful. The power of prayer and the love that surrounds it, and the two must go together, was overwhelming and so meaningful to me. I have a new understanding of the importance of the prayer process supporting the unity principles, and it is breathtaking, awe-inspiring, and truly a miracle based upon a generous support of so many unity angels here and back in Lee's Summit. They're working for us, and for that, I have many blessings and deep gratitude to unity here in Port Townsend, around the world, and back at the headquarters. And I just want to thank both of you for allowing this experience to come. And I hope that all of you at some time can walk those grounds and take in the spiritual beauty that is truly theirs.
Thank you. And while Sharon's making her way up, this guy and Shakti are not here. And if you ever want to see a village in operation, a village of compassion in operation, spiriting Sky along her path and stepping in for Shakti where Shakti couldn't step in herself because of an ailment. The love and the compassion. So, the scripture says God is love, and wherever love is, God is. And there's no doubt that whole experience, it was like Pam says, she never gets a lesson without actually having the practicality. Well, that's what it was for us all to participate and making sure that all of us had an experience that they could come home and talk about. So Sharon is next going to talk about her experience. And when the day comes when they're back, Sky and Shakti are back, we'll let Shakti give her talk about it. But Shakti and Sky, we love you, we bless you, and we know you're watching. So. This lady here, so as somebody said, well, part of my thing was just kind of making sure that all the luggage got put to where it needed to be. And what I got to tell you is this person can put everything she needs in the overhead bin except shoes. And she has a separate suitcase for shoes. I didn't know that. Told on you.
You are so bad. My husband doesn't know how many shoes I have.
It's a good thing, Robert. You don't need to know that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to let you know how honored I am to be a prayer chaplain. What a special participation that we have and are enabled to do. I remember when I took the class and I had to sit across from David out here, and he was talking to me about affirmative prayer, and I'm thinking, what the heck is that? And so yeah, and he would sit there and listen to me, and he would give me examples of what it actually is. And what a beautiful, beautiful gift we have. Getting back to the visit that we had was a miracle. The next day that most of us, or at least I know 2 or 3 of us, said, we're coming back. We're coming back. What a
an amazing place. Each and every person that's been up here has said something that I've felt. I didn't write anything down. They all had these beautiful, beautiful words. And each and every place that our beloved leaders showed us, and they didn't have to tell us how wonderful it was, because you walked into a place and you knew you were surrounded by absolute beautiful, beautiful faith, love, hope, gentleness, kindness, blessings, gratitude. You know, just everywhere you look, just one of those beautiful things. Of course, I love the gift shop. Yeah, what can I say? That probably was my number one. Gotta be, but I need to let you know about the people that work there. And that's, I never heard an unkind word. I never saw so many people that truly love each other, and they loved us. You know, they were so happy we were there. And they couldn't take the smiles off our faces at all. It was very difficult to leave. The prayer room that I forgot to give my little thing that write all the prayers I wanted to leave there. They're here. I'm sorry. But they are back in that lovely vessel, and they will be sent. And I know it, they'll be sent. I got that little sticky thing, and mine said, "My faith moves mountains." Fueled by faith, I can move mountains. I'm nervous, doggone. I know. Right. How simple was that? Anyway, I'm going to get to Friday the 13th. My understanding faith anchors me in spiritual truth. Over the years, my understanding of faith has deepened and evolved more and more. When I first embarked upon my spiritual path, I may have practiced blind faith, entrusting my life and my dreams to God outside myself. As I have growth spiritually, if I've grown spiritually, I have come to understand God is within and all around me, the one presence and power active in the universe and as my life. God is not a power outside myself to whom I must appeal, but is instead the power within me that I use to direct my life. Understanding faith is rooted in spiritual truth and the orderly manifestation of divine ideas claimed in prayer. I am grateful for my faith and the power of God. Mark 2, truly I tell you, if you say to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and if you do not doubt in your heart, but believe that what you say will come to pass, it will be done for you. And so it is.
Thank you, Sharon. Sure. Got it? Don't want to lose you now. Beverly, coming back from the Zoom room.
They said it all. I found out I have a new hat to wear. Unity Village. Normally, when I go anywhere, I have my journal. I draw. I write. I ponder. I doodle. That journal didn't come out at all during the trip. It was experiential. It was to be felt, to do, to be. On the plane home, Kaya and I were able to do one of our favorite assignments, which is a 7-word thing where we say words and write a little something. So I'm going to start with that. A butterfly flaps her wings above the rainbow bridge to hold beloved animal blessings. If only my beagle could join me on that meandering nature walk. Leaves gently release and float to the ground. We finish our walk by the turquoise fountains and make plans for the candlelight labyrinth walk later in the evening. Each daily word brings insight, while themes of optimism and faith enfold us. My birthday daily word was faith. And as I read it, I could tell it was me, like from the very beginning. And everything that it said, it just rang so true. On the way home, I kept thinking of that song Lulu sings to Sidney Poitier in To Sir with Love. But how do you thank someone who has taken you from crayons to perfume? It isn't easy, but I'll try. And that was like, how do you put into words your spiritual transformation? It's so deep and personal and emotional and loving. The Unity Village offered a chance for me to mature in my spiritual walk, where even the way I looked at Unity as our community in this sweet little Port Townsend home, all of a sudden you get to this village and you realize you're part of this 100-year-old plus thoughts and people and love. And I would look at David and I'd say, I'm so proud to be part of Unity now. Like, I didn't realize the depth of what it was all about. The quantity of how a heart can open. The loudness of silence. I feel transformed. What I got from my pinnacle experience, which was silent unity, but it had built because we had the prayer vigil in the Fillmore, we had the labyrinth, so everything built on each other. So by the time I got to silent unity, Spirit was already working in me and changing me so that I could really experience it in a new way. And I had a situation where I got very hot. And a monkey mind came in and said, oh no, it's that high blood pressure. Oh no, you had to leave your water and everything out because you could only come in there with a sweater. And I got a cool breeze. And okay, I'll keep praying, I'll keep holding it in this beautiful, loud silence. And then that hot again, oh no, here it comes. There comes the breeze. This happened 3 or 4 times, and I got cooled off. And by the end of it, our guide asked us how we were, and I mentioned it to her, and she said, "Oh, that was Myrtle." And I thought when I went to Unity Village in the silent unity that I would be praying and holding that space. I was prayed over and healed and blessed by it. So in that giving you receive, and it was beautiful. So just to be able to feel God, to feel love in that environment of like-minded people, where all my preconceived ideas can be stripped away and all that is left is pure light. And I am grateful.
And last but not least, Miss Lily Kaya, who is a gamer. Do you know that she is also a builder of things with Legos? I didn't know that about her. So,
I had an out-of-this-world experience. First, in the singing bowl, I laid down on the ground. The lights went off. I closed my eyes and I saw dark faces, and I was afraid. Then I heard my guides and my angels telling me to go to the light. And then I saw this beautiful glowing being, long flowy gowns, beautiful long hair, a beautiful face. I asked, "Is this an angel?" And I heard, "No, it is you." I saw my true self. Second, I walked the labyrinth barefoot. First, I felt pain on my feet. I felt every single crack and stone embedding in me. Then I became in Zen mode. I didn't feel pain anymore. I got to the center and I felt my courage just growing. Third, when I went to silent unity, I heard my angels again. Pray, pray. So I did. I kept hearing, anything else? Anything else? I kept praying. When I left there, I felt like I was cleansed. I was anew. I had no more baggage, nothing left weighing me down. I felt like I was floating. And I'm so grateful that I went and that I had this wonderful experience. Beyond this world, it was amazing.
so fueled by faith, I can move a mountain. We can move mountains. We can lift up this troubled world. And we do it. We do it here every Sunday. We do it with our prayers, and it makes a difference. And it's not about out there. It starts here. And that's what the village experience was, at least for all of us who got this talk. It's opening up the in here so we can let the outside out picture in what we're really looking for, heaven on earth.
Starts with each of us in ways we don't know in the moment. I was blessed. I've shared with you one of my classes at Unity. It was an elective class, and there were 6 of us that were given, we got to pick a project. And we said, let's do a day of prayer for our ministerial class. And the instructor, Earl Anderson, said, not big enough. It's supposed to be leaps of faith. And so he said, go back to the drawing board. So we went back and we knew it needed to be a day of prayer. We were really clear on that. And we said, okay, let's do it in conjunction with silent unity. We'll do it as part of one day silent unity service. And we went back to Earl and said, we got it, we're bigger. And he said, not big enough. And we went back, well, it's not big enough. What do? A whole world day of prayer? And Earl Anderson, when we told him that, said, now you're getting there. And the first World Day of Prayer was in 1993. They mentioned the start of it in the video. And they called us visionaries, the ones that did the first one in the video. And I was just stunned, awed, and in tears because it was just little old me doing a project with my friends that were in ministerial school with me and trying to vision something that would bless the world. By the time we actually did the first Unity World Day of Prayer, miracles abounded because people began to pour out of the buildings. We thought we were just going to hold hands across the bridge of faith, you know, a small group of people. People poured out of the buildings from Silent Unity, from the administration building, from the archives and the library. Turned out there were meetings, the annual meetings were taking place. There were literally people on the grounds from not only all over the country, but all over the world. I stood next to a woman from Mexico City. And we had enough people that we could hold hands like this through the entire length of not only the fountains, but the reflecting pool. And James Dillett Freeman stood on the porch and did a prayer. And so this little bitty thing, and if you had told me then that 31 years later, I would be back with this circle of kindred souls that bless me as much as I hope I bless them and all of you, I would not have believed it. But this little class assignment, 31 years later, we get to return. It's going to come back to campus. This was a pilot this year. Next year, everybody's welcome. And so just know that even the littlest thing you can do can end up having a major effect on the world. Every act of kindness, every prayer makes a difference. And so here's what I wrote about pilgrimage. Very short passage from, I wrote this on one of the many ones I've led over the years. To pilgrimage is to faithfully seek the divine with new willingness. To lovingly encounter the wondrous nature of the numinous mysteries, and to experience it all in a sacred world full of holy blessings, waiting to be discovered, embraced, and embodied. Unity Village Pilgrimage.
So that spark 31 years ago ended up setting aside the second week of September as when the World Day of Prayer was, or is held.
Yeah.
9/11
Yes.
is in the second day. So,
Yeah.
so that just shows there are no accidents. I guess that's what I'm going to say.
That's
I
right.
can't get
It's
it out.
all- yes.
I think we'll dispense with the song because we're running really late.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, but I hope that. I hope you're okay with this. We'll
And we've got
dispense with
the
the song, but we will receive the offering, of course, because that's
And
what
you're
we
going to
do.
love the song that goes with the offering. It's going to be perfect.
So why don't we go ahead and take out your offering, put it in your heart, or hold it in your hand, or however that transpires, and know that it is a statement about you and me and who we are. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful and blessed. Blessed, I am so blessed.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am
hurts.
Yeah, we're the village people here. We were trying to figure out how we were
How
going
to
to
do
do YMCA. It didn't work.
with
So,
unity.
oh, sweet, sweet Spirit, Mother, Father, God. It is such a blessing each week where we get to spend just a little bit more time hearing about, immersing ourselves, feeling about the presence of Spirit. Yeah, we get to have a village experience every once in a while. But next week, and the week after, we're not going to be at the village. We're going to be right here in our own bodies. But we can have that kind of experience if we put God first. If we just open up the Spirit and allow Spirit to operate through us. And there's a lot of challenges in that. We wouldn't be on the planet if there wasn't. But we're here. And we're here with a purpose. I believe that purpose is just to express God in whichever way we can do that. And move mountains. So we receive these gifts with that intention. That we remove that mountain of divisiveness, the mountain of funkiness, I call it. Just tell it to go to the sea. There is enough for all of us. We have a beautiful home globally, and we can share it willingly. And know that behind it all is Spirit, is God. The birds don't worry about it. Why should we? So we take these gifts, we send them forward with that intention. But we don't have to let the birds worry, and neither do we. And so for all there is, we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. And it is so. And away we go. So only 2 announcements other than what's on the website. Today at 2 o'clock, I believe, 2 today, you are invited out to Sea Dog Farm. They have an open mic that goes on, and they invite their friends in the community around to good music. They provide hot dogs and some cold drinks, water and lemonade. If you want something else, bring it. We always try to bring something to share because people are going to be there for lunch from 2 to about 4 o'clock, and I know Ron plays there. Also, Pam's got a class on transcending difficult times workshop, but she needs to get registered, or you need to get registered. She's already registered. I think you're right.
It's Saturday.
We signed you up.
Saturday. Yeah. It's a Saturday. I think it's 10 to 4.
Yeah. So next Saturday
and there
coming
are
up.
cards. There's a sign-up sheet in the lobby, and there are cards that kind of describe what it is. So register by Tuesday.
And the biggest reminder of all is we are not having church in this building next Sunday. We're going to be out at Sea Dog Farm.
Sea Dog Farm for our first outdoor service in ages. This will be wonderful.
So we will be set up there, and we'll have a potluck afterwards. And there'll be and as a special treat, Jim went out and took his boat out to Nia Bay and caught fish, the salmon, and we're going to grill salmon. And it is Jim's 1-year anniversary, I believe, right? Friday, yeah, coming up. So as a thank you, I believe, back to the church, Jim's going to bless us with salmon. He's going to cook it. So we'll have salmon to go along with whatever potluck dish we choose to bring. So
I forgot one thing.
What's the one thing?
When we got there, my tag said,
Oh, yeah, Jim.
"It's divine order. How can that happen?"
Yeah, that's right. Let's go into the circle. The story is, so Jim gets a name tag. First of all, we were getting our name tags, and they couldn't find Jim's. James, I should say, James's name tag. And then they said, oh yeah, there was this kerfunkel about this name tag because there's 2 James Marshalls in this joint.
Yes,
In the
there were
conference.
2. One was from Florida and one was from Washington.
Right. And so
I had the Florida guy.
Jim became the Florida James Marshall for 4 days until we got it straightened out. There. And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And truly that is so. Woo!
No, we got it covered.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Goodies in the lobby.
Unless you want to bring me a loungy chair or something.
Yeah, people knew what they were ready to go. The first night, and that was, and I'm telling you, people forgot, it was great. Oh, like, great. Yeah. It's like fire and ice. It's really great. Yeah, I don't, yeah. Yeah, but it was like liquid fire. Really? Yes, yeah, next Sunday. Next Sunday. I don't even know the name.
Let's see. This goes, sheep, it just goes back.